Hello, Ismail. How is everything?
Everything is great, thank you. How about yourself?
Yes, I'm good, man. First of all, welcome to my podcast. My podcast is called Let's Nirvana. It's basically about heart to heart conversations, talking about a bit personal things, but if there is some questions or some stuff you don't feel like answering, we can pass. So, the backstory of the podcast is basically my mom's called Nirvana and she passed away in 2018, so I wanted to create something back for her to kind of give back to her. So first thing I want to know is, who is Mohammed Ismail on a personal note? So when you're behind closed doors and stuff, who are you actually?
First of all, I want to say I'm really sorry to hear that about your mom. Rahim Allah alayhi. My name is Mohammed Ismail. I am 21 years old. I am a businessman slash a student at the same time, and I work as a organizational strategist in a robotics company, and I work as a head of an export and import company in Turkey as well. This is pretty much the brief for me.
So besides your business and of course the student that Mohammed Ismail is, on a personal level though, besides all this like the business and everything, how we describe like between you and your friends and stuff, who is Mohammed Ismail?
So there's a lot of descriptions. A lot of people would describe me as a very funny guy.
Okay.
In Turkey, one of my nicknames is Arab because I'm Arab descendant.
Okay, yes. You mean you speak better Arabic than me, to be honest.
ما تمزح علي.
لا والله لا.
Yeah.
But okay. How happy would you say you are?
I'm
right
a very happy person. Even the company that I'm working for is called Happy, actually.
No way. Okay.
Yeah, it's based in Istanbul.
Right.
And most of the time, I'm a very motivated, happy person, and you would see me smiling all the time.
Yes, I can actually, and we have met I think 2 days ago over obviously phone only, and through the like small interactions that I had with you, you were very nice, very down to earth, always smiling, which is like exactly what this podcast is about. It's basically spreading love, spreading like smiles to different people around the world. It's just these small gestures that actually make a difference in life.
I really appreciate your work.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I wanted to ask you, what is one lesson that life has taught you recently?
So basically, one of the last lessons that I have learned from life was about my trust issues, and I've learned in a very harsh way actually to not trust everybody. And before I came here to the United Kingdom, currently I'm in the UK.
Okay.
I thought everybody here was way more friendlier. And you could trust them, and I felt like basically everything was monitored and everything was safe and secure, and then it turned out in fact the opposite. So
yeah, unfortunately not. Yeah, it's a dark world out there actually. And how do you stay motivated when things get tough? When people betray you behind your back and you gave them trust, and then you lose something valuable, or something that you were building towards actually had, a breakdown. How do you keep yourself going every day?
I'm strongly obedient to my family. Family is number one, the most important thing in my life. And my motivation is almost always coming from my family. They are keeping me strong, my dad especially. When a lot of people told me to not to go to a proper primary school, but go to a school where they would teach you the blind alphabet. And my father was like, no, you can see better than me and you will go to a primary school.
Yes.
How was your, since you brought your family up, and of course they're the most important thing, how would you describe your relationship with your parents or with your family in general?
Extremely positive. I am from a very large family. I have two younger brothers and an older sister.
Okay.
One of them is going to be a lawyer soon,
Oh,
inshallah.
mashallah, nice. Okay.
The other two are pretty bright as well, to be honest. They're currently in the United States.
Nice. Okay. I'm a family-oriented person as well. I mean, I have 4 siblings, 3 brothers and 1 sister. So for me, family is everything. I'm close to my family, close to my father, and I think you learn something from each person, you know. And tell me, what's one thing that you learned from your father?
There's a lot of things that I have learned from my father, but he taught me to not fear anything. And life out there is not what it seems like. But sometimes you're gonna fall down, and sometimes nobody's gonna give you the hand, but you have to learn how to get up yourself. He taught me that.
That's true. Okay, if you can ask God one question, I know this is kind of out there, but if you can ask God one question, what would it be?
To be honest, I have a lot of questions, and I'm a very philosophical person, to be honest, and I'm very interested in Sufism and a lot of other Islamic philosophical arguments as well. I would say one of the like for my side, one of my most curious questions would be like why are we all here, basically. You know. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of have an answer to that. It's a bit dark, but I feel like we're all born. We grow up with a lot of trust issues, like you mentioned, with a lot of problems, with a lot of basically a lot of dark places in this world. And then we grow old, then we have to pay bills, so we have a lot of stress, and then we die, you know. So I feel like obviously the real reason it's life is a test. It's not that dark, but it's just we live in a world where there is good and there is bad. So, and sometimes the bad is more than the good. That's why we feel like we want to ask this question: is actually, why am I here? Which I do ask sometimes myself, even like, why am I here? You know, because life can be hard sometimes.
Genuinely, sometimes like you really don't know why.
Yes, true. Yes, that's why I like to be surrounded sometimes with like friends, you know, like for example Kyra and stuff, just to kind of get my mind out of this headspace of the stress and of all the pain that we're in, you know.
Yeah, he's a very fun guy.
Have you ever had or experienced a aha moment, like a moment where you just like stopped for a minute and like, how did that happen?
I have actually experienced a lot of aha moments, and it mostly ended up in shock. I'm a guy who is very good with the languages, and usually I can guess where people are from sometimes, like out of nowhere. And since I'm also half blind, people are like, you don't even see the guy or you don't even see the lady. Like how can you tell they're from there? And like you sometimes I can go as deep as like where their cities are from.
Oh wow, okay. And then they're like, wow, you know, they're shocked.
Exactly, that's a gift from God, to be honest.
Yes, mashallah, yes. Speaking about that, actually, how was your childhood like, Ismail, growing up? Obviously, because of the condition that you have.
Basically, I went to a normal kindergarten. In the UK, they call it nurseries.
Yes.
And I started at the age of, I started very young age, actually, 3 or 2 years old.
Okay.
For the kindergarten. And when I was 6, I had this condition called lymphoma cancer. which
Okay.
occurred a brain tumor after, and
Okay.
that caused an optic atrophy, and basically it turned me into a blind person, completely blind for 6 months, and after
Oh,
that,
okay.
a light showed up on my left eye, miraculously actually,
MashaAllah, yeah, alhamdulillah. Okay.
and yeah, that's how it happened.
And how was growing up with this condition? Like, how did it affected you? Obviously, like you as Ismail, and how did other people respond to that growing up as well?
Basically, so when I was at the primary school, it was a huge problem because I was learning with a delay. I couldn't write and read in the same time at the same time with my friends. I could
Yeah.
not see what was on the board, and the letters and everything was just blur or
Yeah.
not at all there. So
Yeah.
I've learned how to read and write at least like 5 or 6 months later than the
Later.
other kids.
Okay. That's actually a very strong message. I mean, what advice would you give your younger self right now? What advice would you give him?
So I would say be more patient. I was not patient at that time due to my condition. And obviously some of the medications was making me even more nervous than I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
They contained a lot of cortisons, which
Okay.
it stresses you out more than the usual.
Speaking about patience, actually, a lot of people don't have patience in everything they do, especially as well, like myself, you know, when I try to do something, I want it fast. And I think that's not what life is, especially when... So for example, me, I'll tell you, I have a condition as well. It's called hyperhidrosis, right? So basically, it's a skin condition where I sweat quickly from my arms and from my like the underpits, where I sweat a lot. Even in winters, I sweat a lot. So I started taking injections to kind of make the sweat go away. That didn't work, so I used some cream. So I wasn't patient with that because I was very uncomfortable growing up as well, where when I go to shake someone's hand, my hand is always sweating. And then one time at school when I was, I think, 12 or something, I went up, I shook someone's hand. He looked at me, he's like, bro, your hand is sweating. And I was young, and that just gave me a bit of trauma, you know. So I grew up and I tried to kind of be patient, more patient about it. I tried to find ways in order to adapt. Okay, I have this condition, what can I do? You know, what can I do about it? So yeah, I think it's a good message to tell people to be more patient.
I usually didn't have a problem much with like how I was appearing to outside. Usually people did not even notice that I was blind. Well, when I was younger, my eyes were even lazier. Right now they're getting better,
They're better, alhamdulillah, yeah.
Yeah. So, but earlier in my life, they used to call like when I was playing football. I actually played football professionally.
Oh, wow, okay.
And when I was playing in that team, everybody was calling me the lazy-eyed guy. But whenever I was scoring, everybody's like, lazy-eyed guy. Yeah, the word for that in Turkish is called şaşı.
Shashe is the lazy-eyed guy, that's what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that gave you, I don't know, a bit of motivation, maybe, when like you started scoring and they were cheering for you.
Yeah, I kind of wore the name, so...
You kind of liked it, huh? What do you do different now on your day-to-day basis? Do you do anything differently because of this condition, or do you try to live your life as normal as possible?
So I would say my life is probably much more normal than healthier people, because I've been living in a foreign country for around like 3.5 years right now, and I am using the public transport as I like. I can go to any city as I like, and I don't even fear anything anymore in here. So I would say I'm actually pretty lucky
Yes.
I'm doing much better than many healthier people.
There is something that I always go by in my life. Basically, I always tell myself, God did not give us anything bad, like for example, my condition and your condition, if we can't handle it. Maybe if that condition was with someone else, they would be anxious, they would be scared, they wouldn't know how to live life. So I think this is what I tell myself always. I thank God that I have this condition, because God gave it to me, because I know how to handle it. You know, it made me stronger. It made me realize that there's more to be grateful for, especially because other people have worse things. Other people are going through different struggles. So we always have to be grateful for what we have and what we own.
Also, I kind of got used to it because I don't know a life where I could see with both eyes. It seems too much at this point.
Yeah. True. No, true. Actually, true. I mean, it would have been a completely different life. You know, you could have been someone completely different, like growing up.
And maybe it became the motivation itself. Maybe.
Yes, 100%, of course. And it's very good, by the way. Like, I'm sure this is gonna like inspire other people as well to look in the positives and not the negative. Look at the positives. You know, motivate them to live the way you are doing it, which is basically live freely. You know, don't limit yourself just because you have a condition. It's the opposite. You should motivate yourself to do more things, to go out of your comfort zone. And this is what you're telling me, like that you're living freely, basically.
Exactly. بالضبط.
So
100%.
بالضبط, yes. So Ismail, who's your inspiration first and foremost in this world? As in, who do you look up to the most?
Well, that's a very hard question. I would say prophets, because the rest of the people are
not perfect.
They're fallible, and
Of course.
but if it's not about the perfection, and if it's about like, in what way do you want to live your life, like
Yes.
what do you want it to look like? I really like the way that my dad lives, and how he brought up to me to this day.
Okay.
So I would say my dad is my inspiration.
Okay, that's a good choice, to be honest. Yes. Growing up and even now, Ismail, what do you think people misunderstood about you the most, in terms of maybe something that you told them, or your personality, or?
They have misunderstood a lot of things. But that's not a problem. Like, I usually did not really care about what people thought.
Okay.
Sometimes they thought I was fully blind still. Sometimes they thought different things. I didn't put much of a thought in what they thought.
Do you think it's good to not take to heart what other people think of you, especially if it's negative, or because some people get sad about it, you know?
Negative or positive, it doesn't really matter. Like, at the end of the day, you have to find the balance in yourself, and you have to know what's right and what's wrong for you. And sometimes the worst words would come out of the person that you love the most. What are you supposed to do? Like, cry and live a desperate life? I don't really personally admire that. So.
And is that from people that you don't know, or in general, even like close friends, family as well? In general, you just don't take anything to heart from even close people?
Yes. I would suggest people to not take everything very seriously.
Okay.
At the end of the day, life is temporary. Those words are temporary as well. People won't even remember such things they've said before. Like, they would say the craziest things. Especially, just watch the politicians. One day they are invading a country. Next day they are shaking hands.
Yeah. Of course. It's in Arabic we say maslaha. So basically, it's like where they see their best interest, that's what they will do. Even if yesterday they were saying bad words to each other and they were against each other because of politics, next day, oh, you have oil, can I be friends with you? That's what they would do, basically. Okay. You have been to you have been to Turkey and you have been to the UK. Have you been to any other countries?
Yeah, I have been to Saudi Arabia quite often.
And how do you find the different cultures, like especially now that you live in the UK as well?
Well, sometimes it seems so strange, and sometimes it is nice to see the modern world with many different nations. In Turkey, the Turkey that I grew up, right now the Turkey is changing a lot as well.
Yes.
It was pretty isolated. It was
Isolated. Okay.
like it was full of Turkish people, and after obviously 2013, I guess, a lot of Syrians came.
Right.
And before Syrians, we were the only Arab descendant people in Turkey.
Yes.
And until that point, actually, people used to respect Arab descendant people. They used to love us. And after, like, Syrians came and they created their own ghettos, people started to increase their hostility because yeah. But before that, it was all fine, to be honest.
Okay. I mean, I never went to Turkey, to be honest. I want to go. I want to see how everything is because I had a bad impression about Turkish people, especially when I went to the airport. So I was going in transit from, I think, Holland to transit to Qatar, but I went through Turkey. So I was going to one of the restaurants and I felt like they're not smiling and they're always giving attitude. So I don't know, maybe because I don't speak Turkish and they don't like to speak anything but Turkish, maybe these specific people only. So the impression I got is some Turkish people don't like to speak any other language but Turkish, you know?
After 2013, I would say they had a prejudice against Arabs. Before 2013, it was nothing like that at all. 3 of my aunties actually studied in Syria, and nobody really cared. Like, life was pretty normal, especially in the southern eastern ends of Turkey. People are usually relatives with Iraqis and Syrians, and they don't really mind. But obviously, the overall majority does not really know what's going on.
It's quite normal in many countries. Like I understand that Turkish people have that a bit of not hatred but like that feeling inside that no, I'm fully Turkish, you know. It's like some countries as well, they're like that. They're a bit racist towards other countries, especially if they're not fully like.
I wouldn't say racist, a bit over patriotic, because if they meet up with you, if they know you in a personal level, they wouldn't actually treat you like that. They have narratives. Narratives are controlling people. Not
100%, yes, 100%. But it's not.
See outside, you have to consider that.
Sorry, what? I didn't hear you.
They didn't see out what's outside.
Of course. They're only of course. So what I meant by racist, for example, my sister, she is British. She was born there, lived in the UK, right? And she wears hijab as well. So when she goes there to work, for example, people are a bit racist towards her because she is not actually British. Because in the passport, they write second hand, I think, or something, second degree British, something like that, right? So, and of course she's wearing hijab, so everyone knows she's Muslim and she's...
well, that's an actual hostility, that's a different story.
Yes, exactly.
Almost all Turks, I could promise you, like they have the prejudice because of the narrative, but they don't, if you know them, you know, in a personal level.
They're very nice people, 100%, yeah. Where do you find your inner peace? So when your life is in a very dark place, because I have been in a very like dark place many times, and getting out of that dark place took me a long time. And I know from certain people to people it takes longer or less time depending on who you are, but it was hard for me. So how do you find inner peace and like how do you move forward with that?
I find my inner peace outside of my comfort zone. This is one of the things that my father taught me again. You will never fully achieve peace unless you won't confront for your feelings. And if you really want to be in a more like entirely peaceful shape, you have to go like what's against your comfort. Go towards that.
I think it's hard to get out of your comfort zone. Some people really find it very difficult.
There's a saying of my dad, ما في راحة بالدنيا.
Yes, of course. But yeah, no, it's you have to. I think life every day is a struggle. I think every day you learn something new. Every day you want to grow. But do you consider yourself a lazy person, or do you like to move?
It depends on what I'm trying to do. If that's something I like, I would be the most hardworking person you've ever seen. But
Okay.
if that's something I hate, I wouldn't even like in Turkish we have a saying, I wouldn't even move a hair.
Oh, okay. So, because you told me you like to go out of your comfort zone, right? So, going out of your comfort zone is kind of hard, right? So, would your mind be like resistant to that? That no, I don't want to do it, but I have to do it, or do you like doing it? That's what I'm trying to ask.
I have done a lot of things that I have despised.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
I was studying economics and I had to learn data science. As a half-blind person, that was a real life hell. Like I had to zoom in everything, study everything in detail until the exam time, and thank God I got through it.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And before that, I had a lot of other struggles, but I was almost always willing to strive. So, like, I enjoyed it, although I hated it.
Do you? I don't know how to phrase this question, but sometimes when, so for example, with my condition, I kind of feel like ashamed or feel shy sometimes to go out and meet people, right? Not because of what they think, but because of my reflection of who I am. So do you feel sometimes that you shy away from certain situations just because of the condition that you have, or did it make you more brave to go out and do stuff?
When I was younger, I was much more shyer. I was ashamed of everything actually. Like I was falling down from the stairs, I was blaming it on my condition. And then I was seeing another person falling down from the stairs, and then I kind of understood, oh, okay, this is not about the condition.
Okay.
Sometimes we put so much emphasis on minor issues, and that is taking us away from our focus.
100%, yeah. I was watching a video yesterday on TikTok, and there was a father and his son. I think his son was around 11 maybe or 10, and he was on these wheelchairs, but a standing wheelchair, so he's not sitting, all right, and he's basically balancing both his arms on the left and the right, and he can't move his legs are basically wobbly, so he has no muscles in the lower part of his body, and he's trying to teach his son how to basically move with the wheelchair, but on obstacles. So you know how for example you jump from the floor on the table, he's trying to make him jump with that wheelchair on the table, right? On like a small table. So it was very difficult for him. So yeah, he was teaching his son and everything, and it was very emotional because he's a kid. But I think if at a young age we don't teach the children, especially the ones that are in need, they will grow up thinking that I can't do it. I can't be like the rest.
Sometimes when you speak to the kids, it sounds harsher, but you shouldn't really be that lenient either to the kids. You have to show them what's real, and pain is real, and disability is real. Everybody can get disabled tomorrow. You know what I mean? So you have to tell them, like, we've just been through 2 world wars. Look at all the older generations.
Yeah, exactly.
What advice would you give them though? Like not only the kids, but general, like let's say to the people outside.
I would say, don't be afraid of being radically honest.
Okay.
Be honest. Like, okay, it will hurt today, But tomorrow, the kid is going to learn how to get up.
So if you could have dinner with any 5 people, dead or alive, who would they be? They can be famous people, celebrities, family, friends, anyone that
Give some
you
funny
want
answers to that. I really wanted to have dinner with Salahuddin Ayyubi.
Salahuddin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kyra actually showed me his picture today. I really like the movie Kingdom of Heaven.
Nice. Okay.
From like 5 people, did you say?
Yes, 5 people. Yes, they can be famous people. They can be Hollywood stars. Whatever you want.
It doesn't matter.
I see Adam Sanders.
He's
table's
a
gonna
funny
be
guy.
funny.
He's a funny guy. Yeah, I really like Adam.
Sacha Baron Cohen actually.
Right.
He's a very funny person as well. I like his movies. And the 2 other people would be Fatih Sultan Mehmet, definitely, the conqueror
He's
of
Turkish?
Istanbul. He's Turkish,
Istanbul.
but
Yeah.
the way he conquered Istanbul is crazy. Like
Okay.
one of the most interesting stories I've ever heard in my life. And there's a panorama museum in Istanbul, and I would suggest everybody to visit it. The last person would be.
Do you like football?
I like football.
It can be a football player.
There's a lot of people. I really want to have dinner with Ricardo Quaresma.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay. Wow. What's your favorite team in Turkey, by the way?
Beşiktaş.
Are you finna? Oh, so you and Kyra are not friends, huh? When it comes to football.
No, actually, his grandpa played in my team.
Yes, he did. Yes. If I gave you $1 million right now,
Yeah.
okay, but you had to do something with it, either open something, give to church. You had to do something with the money. What
Yeah.
would you do? So you can't just stay home and keep it in your bank. You have to do something.
I don't want to speak like a saint and tell people that I'm going to put it in a charity. Yeah.
No, to be fair, you can say I'm gonna spend it on casinos. It doesn't. It's completely up to you.
Bukra inshallah.
After Ramadan.
Yeah. Well, jokes aside,
Yeah.
I would probably spend it on the shares of Nvidia right now.
Okay. Yes.
Nvidia's doing great.
The last one, basically. After you had this episode with me, how do you describe basically the podcast and the episode itself?
This was a really friendly program. This was a really friendly podcast. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, first of all. And hopefully I could give some inspiration to people like myself, or people who are actually not even close to me at all, in terms of their ideas. Everybody's different, obviously, but
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ismail. Well, I enjoyed it too. It was very nice meeting you, very nice having a discussion with you. You're honestly very strong. You are gonna teach people a lot of things. You're very funny as well, very down-to-earth person. So yeah, keep up the great work, man, and always stay humble and smile and laugh, because it really puts a smile on other people as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ismail. Thank you so much, man.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
You too, bro.